First of all, I would like to thank TEDxFORESchool, and I'm extremely grateful to be here. Uh, to be honest, TED was always a dream, and today this dream is getting fulfilled, which I'm very proud of. I'll begin, and we'll begin it with the filmmaking style that we do. So I'll start it off with this a labor of love that I've created, a production house. We'll start off with saying lights, camera, action. This Okay, so this is the first time that I'm on this stage and ये जिंदगी के 17 मिनट मेरे हैं. ये लाल सर्कल के अंदर मुझे खड़ा होना है और इस फिल्म का रीटेक नहीं है. So whatever I'll be telling will be a story that is from my heart and that is about to be spoken for the very first time. I'm not standing here as a filmmaker, a storyteller. I'm standing here as a boy who learned to hold on. We often say that, you do not need to hold on to things, but I think sometimes you do. You need to hold on to your life, your dreams, and your art. And that is what I've been doing. I was born in a matriarchal household. My great grandmother, who fondly used to make ghee churi for me, shaped my life. I was raised around women, and I think I saw a perspective of life from that lens, which is often overlooked in today's time and often ignored. That is what shapes the sensitivity in me. There was a time I was 4 years old and I had a fight with a friend of mine, and he said to me, "You'll hit me. तेरे तो पापा ही नहीं है. You don't even have a father." Crying through the street, I ran back home, hugged my mother, and that is when I got to know the biggest truth of my life, that I had lost him when I was 2 years old. And they say that he loved me. They say that we shared the same dreams. And they also say that I look exactly like him. Then what happened? At the age of 8, I went to get a passport size photograph clicked in a photo studio, and I saw a very big poster. It was written 6,999. That was the price of a camera. I went back home, opened my trunk, took the piggy bank out, broke it, boom. Took some coins out, whatever were my savings at that point of time at 8 years of age, and some notes, ran back to the studio, was making towers of the coins. My mama was smiling at me. The shopkeeper was laughing at me. What is he doing? And that camera. जिस मोहल्ले में मैं रहता था, वो बहुत वाइब्रेंट था, क्योटिक भी था, sophisticated भी था, complex भी था. My house stood in between godowns and warehouses. I lived in a single room, and I used to sleep to the lullabies of truck horns, pah, pah, and I used to wake up to the chimes of the rickshaw bells, tring, tring. That was my life. And the moment I got that camera, I clicked everybody. Starting from my great grandmother, I asked her to wear my cap, sunglasses, and that is where I clicked my first shot. Then I went around and I started making films with friends of mine in that mohalla. That time was very different. A friend of mine said he has a handycam. I was like, "What is a handycam?" Then he showed it to me. And he told that, if you use my handycam to shoot and to make videos, I will be the actor. And that was the day I started going back. I started being behind the camera. These are the small instances that shape your life, right? School, I was a school topper, but I never fit in. I could not maintain friendships because I was not a gossip person. And the world was seeming against me because I was not having a voice, having a say in the school department. So I started off a photography club in my school. When you do not have opportunities, you have to create them. I started a photography club called Shutterbugs, and we organized 2 festivals like TED. And we had a footfall of 150 students from different 50 schools of Delhi NCR. I had carved out my name by then. A very interesting anecdote I'll tell you. this anecdote is the thing that I laugh on. So I went to a photography competition. It was an inter-school photography competition, and I overheard two people talking. I was at the registration desk, and one person asked the other person, "Will you win today?" The other person said, "Only if Manan doesn't come." And I think that was the time I realized that I'm doing something worthwhile, but my ego just went and took a graph to some other level. Then I went to college and was denied of the access of getting equipments to make my films. And by that time, my mother had got me a DSLR. I think she's the biggest support system in my life. Making a film on that DSLR, I made a very short film called Chiraiya Chahe Asman. It was on girl child labor, a story which was real that I was seeing every day. I wanted to document it. We sent it to a festival. It got a UNICEF Golden Youth for Child Rights Award, which I'm very proud of. Then, then I made another film called Konshut Konashut. It got an international recognition. Then I met an interesting person who inspires me. He's a deaf artist. And I was, wanting to make another film, and I met him in a cafe. और उनसे बात करते करते एक तो मुझे समझ नहीं आया how do I talk to him, because I was not able to understand him. He was not able to understand me. We started having a conversation on tissue papers. It's been 6 years. I made a documentary film on him. He told me that not much people buy my art. 2022, my pockets were, I guess I had 20,000 rupees in my bank account. I put it into getting a auditorium on rent. Did that show. The paintings that he made got sold on that show. And I realized that the purpose of my life was to bring a change in someone's life. And I think that happened that day. And on that day, there were 120 people in the auditorium cheering for me. And I was like, how is everything like this happening in my life? I'll cut it down to a backstory. That's what filmmakers do, right? So you start off with point one, act one, act two, act three. We are in act two, and I'll get you on a climax. 2019, a hope came into my life. I got my mom remarried. And I found the biggest mentor support in my father. Purity complex. I was very shy, not very confident. People were against me, no friends. And then he told me that, when COVID hit, we lost him. So I just had 2 years that I spent with him, but those 2 years feels like an eternity. And they feel like I have lived almost every other feeling of a father-son relationship. And I think आज भी मुझे लगता है कि both of my fathers, I see two empty chairs here, both of my fathers are sitting here and are proud of me for where I've come. My stepfather and I saw a dream. We were sitting in the mountains, mighty hills of Himalaya, Himachal. We were in Manali. We were looking at the Hamta Valley. And he asked me, Manan, what do you wish to do once you graduate from college? And I told him, I wish to make films. How will you make films? I will make a production house. Oh, let's make a production house together. By the time I could make a production house, we had already lost him, but I continued the legacy of it. And my father's name was Rajneesh. My stepfather's name was Rajkumar. And I made a production house named Rajman Productions. As a note to that. I still cannot believe that a boy, 8 years old, had a sling camera attached to it whenever he used to go on vacations. Now running a team of 20 people making art. There's also a time I dropped out for the passion I wanted to pursue, that is filmmaking, from a college. And I think all of the things are happening in my life for a certain reason, and that is to express. I think when you're given something in your childhood, be it a pencil, you should draw. And if you had a pencil, then you should pick it back to paint or to draw again. How many of you made boats when it used to be a rainy season? I mean, that can become an installation art. So it is where you start, right? That is where I started from. And I think art actually held my hand when everything left me. And it is happening till now. My father brought me into this world. My stepfather taught me how to live. And the reason I'm living right now is my mother. I know it's a little emotionally. That would not, stop me from actually being proud of my own self. This is the stage that I've got. These 17 minutes of my life meant so much to me. Do you want to see that friend who actually held my hand since the beginning? The camera. The camera. And I wrote, it's life that makes you see a dream. It's a dream that makes you see life. ये जिंदगी है जो सपने दिखाती है. ये सपने हैं जो जिंदगी को जीने का तरीका सिखाते हैं. और जिंदगी में ऐसा होता रहेगा, लेकिन तुम्हें चलते रहना है. This is the show that we did, Rajman Talkies. And that is when my mother said, she came on the stage, it was very emotionally heavy, and people were sobbing. And she came on the stage and she said, today I see the real value of art. And I would want to encourage every parent to see that art is a viable option. You should not let people not do it. That's me smiling with an audience of 120 people who came for me. This is where I am right now. I think I'm a crow in a group full of parrots, searching. This is a photograph I clicked while on a walk in Lodi Garden, which is one of my favorite spots to walk around. And I feel a sense of grounding in this picture. And that is where I feel that, this is where I am. Sometimes I write, and I would like to conclude with a poem that I wrote long back. I'll read it out. One day, I'll dive into the sea, forever to be a particle of sand and a million things to be. One day, I'll dive into the sea, forever to be a particle of sand and a million things to be. For my heart will stop racing once I forget to breathe. Stop racing once I forget to breathe. I will surrender to myself for whatever I want it to be. I will surrender to myself for whatever I want it to be. For once I'll look up in the sky and won't be able to see. My eyes will open in darkness as it is meant to be. I don't wish to be me in the world I'm going to be. I will float till I rest beneath thee. To be a particle of sand and a million things to be. I'm Manan Kathuria, artist, a million things to be.